There were 12 different versions of the talking points is interesting. Many of those were not substantive, but there was a big change between talking point version 1 and number 12. And the biggest difference is they became shorter. References to a specific knowledge of terror attack was removed. References to other warnings that had been given. References to, I believe, 5 prior attacks on foreign installations in Libya. All of that had been spelled out in the original version, and much of that was not in the final version. Let me just add this. At the end of this whole two-day chain, General Petraeus, who was then CIA director, he was not participating in the back and forth, but a top aide to Petraeus sent him a note saying, "We worked through the D.C. this morning. These are now for final approval. Jake voiced strong concerns with the original text." Jake, referring to Jake Sullivan of the State Department. Right. Petraeus then responds and says, "These will not respond to what Ruppersberger asked for," meaning the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. "And I would just as soon not use them." The CIA director saying, "I would just as soon not use them. They won't even let us add the Cairo warning. But it's their call, National Security Staff's call. Thanks for your work."
This is quite a window into what usually is a very hush-hush process about how to deal with these types of attacks and the spin that irrevocably comes afterwards. Kelly O'Donnell, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And thank you for doing a lot on the run right there. That's not always easy.
A lot of detail there. I didn't mean to just hit you with a fire hose of info, but we're working it out.
No, and we will definitely dig into this. I just want to go to the panel real quick. Politically, this is not good for the White House right now.
Well, I mean,
does it stick?
I mean, sure, they look terrible. There have been comparisons to Watergate. They did not, in fact, try to kill people, and they didn't try to get their staff killed, right? Like this was them trying to save face after something terrible had happened and try to prevent what looks like accurate perception that they had not been careful enough in Benghazi, that they'd been sloppy about security, that they'd ignored warnings. Looks like this. I mean, as you read that, it sounds like the State Department is very concerned about this. At one point, reportedly, the State Department official Victoria Nuland says the leadership of her building is really worried about this in a way that points to Hillary Clinton and her top deputies. The White House kind of deferring to them.
And like, does this become then an election politics thing? So obviously, we've talked about the connection to Hillary Clinton, which the GOP has been trying to push forward, but also the issue of the president trying to sit on this because the election was only a few weeks away when this attack occurred.
Sure, it becomes an election issue. It becomes a 2014 issue. It becomes a 2016 issue. It becomes a potential, should I even say that word that starts with I, that I think we all know, that 3-syllable word? It becomes, you know the word I mean. It becomes a potential impeachment issue as long as the Republicans are in control of the House.
Yeah, and I think for Clinton, it looks Clintonian. It sort of reminds you of, that era of politics and sort of the secrecy and sort of things that came out of that administration. And also, I think, reminds us that there is only one person that the far right wing hates more than Obama, and that's Hillary Clinton. And I think if she is somewhere figuring out whether or not she wants to run for president, this is what she
This is certainly, to put it in a political lens, will be the first line of attack against her that the GOP will run, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of super PAC ads if Hillary wants to do that in Iowa about this story.